It's 3 a.m. You're in a helium headspace. It's Monday, October 27th, 2025. Leaving Las Vegas premiered on this day 30 years ago. It stars pretty much just Nicolas Cage and Elisabeth Shue, who plays the character of Sarah, who says, "I think the thing is we both realized that we didn't have that much time. And I accepted him for who he was, and I didn't expect him to change, and I think he felt that for me too. I liked his drama, and he needed me, and I loved him. I really loved him." It made a little less than $71,000 its opening weekend, and has since accumulated a little over $32 million. Born today in 1952, Roberto Benigni built a career on the simple idea that laughter and sorrow can coexist, and he proved it decisively with Life is Beautiful, a fable about a father who shields his son from the Holocaust by reframing terror as a game. The film made him only the second person to direct and star in a Best International Feature winner, and the first to win a Best Actor for a non-English role, a result of his clear belief that cinema's job is to reach beauty whether through comedy or tragedy. From release, Life is Beautiful drew sharp debate. Some critics said it trivialized the Holocaust by using comedy in a camp setting. Others defended it as a humanist fable. It angered right-wing critics in Italy and left-wing critics at Cannes, while Roger Ebert argued for its approach. Jewish responses were mixed. Many leaders approved, but publisher Phil Blazer condemned it as disrespectful. In an interview in 1999 on the controversy around Life is Beautiful, Roberto Benigni said, "To laugh and to cry comes from the same point of the soul." Today in 1659, Boston hanged the Quakers William Robinson and Marmaduke Stevenson on Boston Common for returning after banishment under a law that made persistence in Quaker preaching a capital crime. Their measured refusal to recant turned a local ordinance into a public test of conscience, showing how a colony built to secure one group's religious safety could threaten another's, and their deaths, soon followed by Mary Dyer's case, helped push authorities toward restraint, as protests in England and the King's Order in 1661 curbed executions and edged Massachusetts from coercion toward toleration. Before he was hanged, Marmaduke Stevenson said, "Be it known unto all this day that we suffer not as evildoers, but for conscience sake." Born today in 1914 in Swansea, Wales, Dylan Thomas became one of the most distinctive voices in 20th century poetry, known for his musical language and intense imagery. His best-known work, Do Not Go Gentle into That Good Night, is a son's plea for his dying father to resist death. But it also reflects Thomas's lifelong tension between beauty and decay, creation and destruction. He wrote not as a detached observer, but as someone wrestling with the vitality and fragility of human experience. Whether in the lush verse of Fern Hill or the humor and melancholy of Under Milkwood, Thomas sought to capture life in its fullest contradiction, wild and mortal, lyrical and doomed, and in doing so, turned personal struggle into a universal song about the defiance of time. Today in 1932, Sylvia Plath was born in Boston. She became one of the most influential voices of confessional poetry, using her own struggles with identity, ambition, and despair as her primary material. Her work, especially The Bell Jar and the posthumous collection Ariel, transforms private anguish into precise and disciplined verse. Plath's art is not simply personal, it is diagnostic. She dissects the pressure placed on modern women, the weight of expectation, and the thin line between intellect and instability. Her control of language stands in contrast to the chaos she describes, revealing an artist who sought order through form even as her life unraveled. In The Bell Jar, Sylvia Plath wrote, I am. Born today in 1939 in Weston-super-Mare, England, John Cleese became one of the defining voices of British comedy by turning intellectual precision into farce. His work with Monty Python's Flying Circus and later Fawlty Towers demonstrated that absurdity could coexist with structure, that chaos, when carefully built, reveals the machinery of human behavior. Cleese's characters, from the rigid hotelier Basil Fawlty to the officious civil servants of the Ministry of Silly Walks, embody the collision between authority and folly. He dissected social norms by exaggerating them, proving that laughter can expose the limits of reason and the pretensions of power. In a 1991 talk on creativity, John Cleese said, "We need to be in the open mode when we're pondering a problem, then switch to the closed mode to implement it." Fran Lebowitz was born today in 1950 in Morristown, New Jersey, and became one of America's sharpest social commentators by turning complaint into art. Known for her essays collected in Metropolitan Life and Social Studies, Lebowitz carved a niche as a modern-day curmudgeon who sees humor in human folly and hypocrisy. Her work is less about offering solutions than about exposing the absurdities of modern behavior, particularly in cities like New York, which she both loves and laments. Through her slow, deliberate speech and perpetual dissatisfaction, she demonstrates that observation itself can be a moral act, paying attention, refusing to conform, and insisting that thinking deeply, even cynically, is a form of civic duty. In an interview with the Paris Review in 1993, Fran Lebowitz said, "I write so slowly that I could write in my own blood without hurting myself." Today's poem is by Dylan Thomas and is titled "Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night." It was published in 1952. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men, the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang the sun in flight and learned too late they grieved it on its way, do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men near death who see with blinding sight, blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay, rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And those are some of the things we humans have done over the years. Do good work, smile more, and please follow our work.